Praise be to the Maker who gave us the synthesizer who would perform a feat in front of the eyes of the enemy. So the person that relayed the story throughout time that reached us was a scribe for the Pharaoh, and he had set up in the distance from another mountaintop, and he was there to record the events and send them back to the Pharaoh so that he could know the outcome. When it started, the synthesizer began to get hot because, well, since the inception of the worlds that was created, the power supply from the synthesizer had been kind of out of whack. And much of it would escape, and it would bounce between two pillars that were conductive, and they were called covenants. It would arc between one covenant to the other, and therefore earned the nickname the Ark of the Covenant. But because it is overheating, Moses needed to instruct the player, who was called a sinner because he played the simp. He instructed him to blow and sit the instrument in the shade. Well, the shade was dark, and the person recording these events could not see through the darkness. And he recorded just what he saw. Now, when you have a conductor or a director, and he is directing a song, he will keep the rhythm with his arms, swinging them up and down, side to side, in a pattern that is steady, called a pattern or time signature. And he does this so that if there are multiple people playing, you know where to go. You know the beat to be on. But this beat, well, actually, it was just a sound, and they were playing the Big Banger again, and it got to the point where in this song, he needed to hold out the tone. The same tone that caused the sentient synthesizer to spew its load of consciousness all over the face of the earth and other galaxies created from the process. So when he got to that point, the way that you showed this to the people that were playing was you would hold your arms up and out, and that meant to hold or sustain the note. And when he did that, that is the moment when the seas parted. But like I said, the scribe couldn't see that. All the scribe could see was Moses raising his arm, holding his staff, which he would use to count off the start of the song. Another mind blown, I can just sense it. This is a great night to be giving thanks and praise to the 80s. My name is Cappy, and I believe we are coming up to another point where we need to break. We have about 15 more minutes before the start of the second hour. And this is when we hope to have in studio George Cassio. And he will begin telling the story of the Slang Dictionary of Adult Contemporary. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. It is the Slang Dictionary of Contemporary for adults. This was a book, and it was released in 1989. It didn't really sell a lot of copies at the time of its initial release. It all seemed like a bunch of gobbledygook conspiracy theory about adult contemporary artists singing about their exploits, but in a hidden code, cryptic enough to keep what really happened to the people that had the knowledge and the key to translate these songs' lyrics. But Bob Cassio picked it up in the summer of 1988 and spent a year writing the book that exposed the hidden hand. Too bad, like I said, it was not a big sell. No one really, I think it sold maybe 130 copies worldwide. But in a strange turn of events, it was determined that his book was 99% factually correct. And now we could go back and look and right what had been wronged by artists such as Vinnie Mardones and Richard Marx and Peter Cetera. Yes, their voices were beautiful when they wrote songs of the same caliber. However, they would be about disgusting, lewd acts that no man should ever be a part of. Eventually, it led to the acting world, where even though they could not sing the songs about it, they would still commit the acts and encourage producers to make movies about it. Johnny Castle was one as well. Later, he would join forces with the Catholic Church in America. And that would be the preface to George's third book, the one that is getting ready to come out. And we are excited. After the break, we will dive into this mystery and give more thanks and praise to the 80s as the maker intended it to be done. My name is Cappy, and you are listening to the most legitimate podcast of the 80s, but done today. Actually, it's night. Thanks for joining. I'll see you in a few.